know I didn't order it.
It's free, if you can believe that. They say we're a part of and I'm quoting, a beta testing group for a revolutionary device designed to simplify the shopping experience. Listen to this. Choose one household item from the gift catalog, enter its 4-digit ID on the keypad, and using a proprietary particle transfer technology, it will materialize inside the case within 15 seconds.
This has got to be a joke. Did your brother send this?
Well, it's free, so let's see what happens. What do we want? What about this weather station thing? Code 8604. Well, if my brother did send it, it is a terrific prank. Oh my god!
What the hell?
We can only order one thing a day. We'll have to wait till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to order the next.
I can't find anything online about this company Partran. Why isn't there a power cord or a battery slot?
It says it doesn't use conventional electricity. Instead, it receives a battery charge from an overhead satellite using energy transfer. To get the charge, we'll have to leave it outside overnight.
What if it rains?
It says it's waterproof.
Go. There ought to be a drum roll.
These astonishing videos began appearing on YouTube just after noon today, Eastern Daylight Time. This one is from Agen, France. There were a dozen witnesses to this, including the head of the French Council National du Numérique, the country's tech council. Watch this. Now in this one from Elkmont, Alabama, you can see a softball appear out of nowhere. Other videos showing the same device and similar items materializing in the case were posted by persons in Marquette, Nebraska, Madera, California, as well as Peabody, Kansas. And that's just in the United States. This last video is from Gurupi, Brazil, a small town in the central farming region. You can see a little emergency radio suddenly appear in the case. Truly unbelievable. The development at the moment is a huge mystery. All we know is that a company called Partran sent a few dozen of these strange devices to select homes around the world, but Partran is not listed on the New York Stock Exchange or on any of the other global exchanges. A spokesman for the U.S. Department of Commerce said the company is unknown to them as well, and you'll find nothing about Partran with Google, at least not yet. No website, no Wikipedia entry, nothing. But my guess is that will change pretty quick.
Are you Cooper and Robinson? I'm Richard Lindholm, the new district director.
Oh, yeah. We were told you were starting today, that you were transferring from Omaha. Hey, welcome aboard.
What was your position in Omaha, if you don't mind my asking?
Who's Cooper and who's Robinson?
I'm Robinson.
I'm Cooper.
You heard what happened this morning with this new technology, right?
Yeah, it was all over the news sites.
One of the places it appeared was in Madera, a half-hour northwest of us. That's in our district. We need a presence up there. I need you both to drive up there and engage with the situation. I mean right now, gentlemen.
I believe that's Clark on the right, William Clark. Jonathan Tang is on the left. Their short video appeared on the streaming service Vimeo about 10 minutes ago. What you're looking at right now is a screenshot from it. We're going to run the video for you in a second as soon as we get the feed set up. As I said, the two men claim to be the inventors of the mysterious technology that suddenly appeared in numerous locations yesterday and online in videos this morning. Okay, here's that video of Clark and Tang.
Hello, my name is William Clark.
And my name is Jonathan Tang.
And we're going to read you a statement. We are the chief scientists for a new company, Partran, that has been prominent in the news in recent days. We met when we were first-year engineering students at Caltech 5 years ago. We were both fascinated with the possibility of particle transfer of physical objects, and we bonded over this interest.
Soon, believing we'd arrived at a potential method to accomplish it, we dropped out of college after our first semester to focus on our research. Now, 5 years later, we have a mature technology that we believe has unlimited promise.
What is our primary goal? It's to end world hunger.
This technology will allow food to be shipped directly from the farm to the kitchen table, cutting out the massive expenses in between.
To emphasize our advocacy for farms, we initially sent our demonstration home stations to only a few farm families.
However, we've only begun the process of applying for patents, and so the inner workings
Of the home stations that were sent will be destroyed in the next hour, using an intense heat pulse generated from inside the machines that will melt the essential hardware.
General use of this technology is at least a year away. In the meantime, we're not revealing our present location so that we can continue our research and planning uninterrupted.
Thank you.
Minutes ago, officials of the California Institute of Technology confirmed that there was a William Clark from Bakersfield, California, and a Jonathan Tang, originally from Singapore but raised in Massachusetts, who were freshmen at the university 5 years ago and who dropped out after their first semester.
I'm holding for Brad Marcoli.
I'll try again.
Brad Marcoli.
Brad, hi. I don't know if you remember me. Felipe, Santiago. We were both at Caltech and lived at Avery House at the same time as...
At the same time as Clark. Felipe, sure I remember you. No kidding, isn't this wild?
Exactly, but here's why I'm calling. In the video, it said that he and Tang were always working on this, on particle transfer at Caltech. Except I can't remember ever once seeing Tang in his dorm. Not once. If they were such close friends, why didn't I ever see them together?
No kidding, I never saw Tang either, and I lived 2 doors down from Clark. To be honest, I really saw Clark come out of his room.
Another thing, I took one class with Clark, first year math, and one time he says to me, he was like, God, could this be any harder? And so, I mean, really? If this guy was some kind of rare genius, someone who could possibly invent something like this, don't you think he would have demolished first year math?
Absolutely. My impression was that he was struggling academically. Can you hold just a second, Felipe? Felipe, I got a meeting I gotta go to, but let's stay in touch. Text me your email, and yeah, this is so crazy. Beam me up, Scotty. And I totally agree. Clark was not the guy I expected to do anything like this. Good talking to you, but I gotta go.
YouTube video today of William Clark.
Hello, my name is William Clark,
And my name is Jonathan Tang.
and we're going to read you a statement.
What am I looking at?
This is a photo that a guy who lived in the same dorm as Clark took 5 years ago. He texted it to me a couple hours ago. That's Clark on the right. He doesn't think Clark was in the video. He thinks it was a deep fake. He said Clark was not someone remotely capable of inventing something like this. But he sent something else. This is a screenshot of the YouTube video of Clark today.
It looks the same.
The birthmark over the eye?
Maybe that's a scar or a burn that he picked up in the last 5 years or so.
I considered that. But look at this. I found videos of Tang online and some podcast audio of Clark, but only one photo exists online of Clark. I did a face recognition search through every known database, and this is the only one. It's a group photo taken after his high school graduation by the mother of one of the other students in the photo. And then she posted it on her Facebook page.
So it's not a birthmark. I mean, she had dust on her lens. There's dust all over the place here, down here and up here, over here.
That's what our lab guys think too.
But if it was dust on the lens and not a birthmark,
then that means the real Clark wasn't in that video yesterday. It was a fake made by AI based on this single photo. The AI was stupid enough to think it was a birthmark.
wow.
So you're telling me that video was some sort of deep fake?
It could be, yes.
And what about this invention? Is it some sort of hoax also? There were witnesses everywhere in the world who saw this machine in operation. Are you telling me all of them are lying? That they're all part of some huge conspiracy? Look, this is my first week in this job. I don't want some idiotic story going out of this office about how the FBI thinks this whole thing is a fraud. Everyone else in the world is going nuts about this invention, so just back off. Don't investigate this further.
Clark grew up in Bakersfield. That's 90 minutes south of us. Why don't we drive down there tomorrow morning and see what we can find out about him? Sooner or later, someone in Washington's going to want some facts about this guy.
My son did know him. You don't have to use my son's name, though, do you?
No, sir. This is just for background.
Well, my son was friends with him in high school and kept in touch with him for a few years after graduation. But I'm going to be honest, even in high school, William had a drug problem. Then he dropped out of college, and according to my son, he was living on the streets up in Portland after that. But eventually, my son lost touch with him.
Did you ever meet him?
Once. He had a motorcycle we brought in for a valve job. But we went to the same church, and according to our minister, a newspaper up in Oregon reported that he died of a drug overdose. I guess he didn't die, though, huh? He was just out there inventing stuff.
Yeah. He worked for me one summer. I finally had to fire him when I came back from lunch one afternoon. And he was sitting in the bottom of a grave we just dug, smoking a joint. What's the FBI investigating?
It's only preliminary. We're just asking questions like everyone else.
Guys, the director's looking for you.
What did I tell you about investigating this Madeira thing? A half hour ago, the Bakersfield newspaper posted a story on their website that agents from this office, my office, were down there asking questions about Clark as part of a preliminary investigation. Now I'm getting calls from Washington wanting to know what the hell it is we're investigating. You know how embarrassing this is for me? I warned you. That's it. You two are suspended for violating direct orders. 2 weeks without pay. Understand?
What's going on here? People are so dazed by this invention, they're not asking the questions they should be asking.
I agree.
Let's do this. Let's keep going. We can meet at my house every afternoon and compare notes. I wouldn't use your department cell to make calls on this. We don't need any more trouble from Lindholm. I'll run over to Walmart and pick up a couple of cheap prepaid phones. What are you going to tell your wife about the suspension?
Nothing. She's going to be gone for at least 3 weeks. She flew to Virginia to pick up our grandkids, and then they were going to drive down to Disney World.
It's the only good thing about a divorce is you don't have to report to anybody. Yeah, at least at home.
Yeah.
Tang was born in Singapore. But then his mom died when he was 6, and he and his dad moved to Massachusetts so that the dad could teach at Amherst College. And then the dad dies the summer before Tang enrolls at Caltech.
Well, that fits with what I found. I got a hold of a guy who was Tang's roommate. He said Tang was so unhappy that he was ready to quit the day he got there. And then just before the Christmas break, Tang told him he was going camping in Yosemite. And then he didn't show up for second semester. Then he was eventually reported missing. The roommate thought he might have been a suicide. But if he was, he's never been found. What about the Madeira packaging? Any luck with that?
Yeah, I checked with the Madeira post office, and they said their records indicated that the package that the Dixons got was mailed from Renton, Washington. I called the postmaster up there, and he's going to scrub through the security footage and see who brought it in.
Truckers carry more than food, though. Won't they still have a significant amount of business shipping other goods? After all, you can't send a refrigerator or big screen TV in those little boxes, can you?
I thought we were talking only about food today.
We are. But I'm asking what would be the impact of this technology on the trucking industry.
Not good, but my main concern, as I stated, is that these foods won't be safe. Remember, they'll be going through a radical physical change. How do you know what kind of Frankenstein foods you'll be getting on the other end?
Miss Jennings, in your opening statement, speaking for farmers, you talked extensively about the impact on people in the world who are experiencing famine. You said we should adopt this technology quickly for them. Is that your real interest here, the poor? Farmers stand to greatly benefit from this financially. Isn't that true?
First, some farmers are poor also, so I don't see that as a bad thing. And just because farmers will probably come out on the good end of this situation doesn't mean that world hunger still isn't the primary issue.
Let's hear it, Arlene. What do you think? You gonna buy one of these things?
Well, probably not. What I want to say is that if food is cheaper, then obviously that's good. But has anyone, said how much cheaper it'll be? Like a loaf of bread.
With all the people who will lose jobs, if it's only like
a few cents cheaper, then I say don't use this new box thing. Ship bread the old way.
Okay, next up. What do you think?
Hi, this is Larry, and this is coming, I'm telling you, from a lot of experience, from a lot of years of living. Not everything new that comes along is better.
I remember life, before the internet. No one sat around saying, wow.
Life would be better if they invented the internet. People thought life was as good as it could be without the internet.
Yeah.
Is this Jim Robinson from the FBI?
Well, who's this?
I'm from Portland Homeless Services. You sent us a photo of a homeless man you wanted me to look for. I think I found him. He's living in a tent on the sidewalk on West Burnside near 21st Street. You want me to talk to him?
No, I'll fly up. But can you tell me what the tent looks like so I can find it?
And then the unaccompanied minors, ages 5 to 11, traveling 11.
William?
I'm Al.
William Clark?
How do you know that?
Well, I know a friend of yours.
I'm Al on the street, okay?
Well, your friend said if I was ever in Portland to say hello.
What friend?
Jonathan Tang.
I don't remember him.
Look, didn't you go to Caltech together?
How do you know that I went to Caltech? Who are you?
Have you been watching the news at all?
On my big screen TV? Hold on, let me check. I forgot. My cable's out.
So you've never heard of Partram?
Who?
It's a company. Never mind. Look, I can give you a ride to Homeless Services for a meal and a shower.
Sir, is that your car? The silver Toyota by the pole?
Yeah.
A guy was trying to get into it about 10 minutes ago. I figured he thought it was his car. He couldn't get in though.
Well, what did he look like?
Nothing special. Blue shirt, glasses, maybe 40.
Well, did he do anything to the car? Like, look underneath it?
You mean like crawl underneath?
I mean, like bend down next to it, or maybe place something under it.
I didn't pay attention. I had other cars coming through.
Where's your security office?
You want me to print you out a screenshot?
The best frame you have of the guy. That one's good. Yeah.
Where are you?
I just dropped off my rental in Portland. I'm heading to the gate.
Well, I got news. Tang is dead. I called the people at Yosemite where Tang went camping. I mentioned he was from Singapore, and they called me back a few hours later. They got a hold of his fingerprints from a Singapore database and ran them against their suicide cold cases. Tang matched one of them. They found him 5 years ago with no ID, and his prints haven't matched anything in all of the U.S. databases.
Wow. I found Clark. He's alive, but he didn't know Tang, and he's never heard of Partran.
I gotta go. I'll be back in a few hours and I'll come by.
Yeah. He found footage of the guy who sent the package to Madeira.
Carl, dinner in 5. Wash up.
Just a second.
Good News Morning from WMVT Radio. Troubling reports have emerged of at least a half dozen major reservoirs around the United States that have suddenly run dry. Also, massive holes suddenly opened up in the middle of crop fields on farms in those same areas. It was first thought that cracks in the Earth's crust brought on by earthquakes might have allowed the soil and water to escape. But no significant seismic activity has been reported in the United States in recent days. Now we're getting a new report from the AP that all these phenomena in the United States have occurred in areas that received the mysterious Partran shipping devices in the last week. And the latest report from Reuters says sinkholes have formed and reservoirs have dried up in other areas of the world as well, and that all those locations were also near where a Partran box was received.
El agua que queda es mía porque yo llegué primero. No sé de qué estás hablando.
What we're seeing here.
When did the first sinkhole appear?
A tea farmer in Kenya reported it. The hole opened up in his field this morning.
The company that created this invention going awry.
Did this farmer get one of the boxes?
Information about it.
Yes, that's where the sinkholes all developed, near where the boxes were delivered. So far they've counted 64 of these holes worldwide, and the reservoirs and aquifers that lost water are also in areas that got these boxes.
Tanger's rumored to be eating his lunch. That man turned out to be a Taiwanese fashion designer who resembled Tang only vaguely. Indeed, the anger is mounting against the two men and their company for what is believed to be the unintended widespread damage caused by their invention.
Good afternoon. I'm Pamela Wilson, an attorney, and I'm going to read a statement. On behalf of several California municipalities, including Chowchilla, Madeira, and Los Baños, I filed suit today in the District Court for the Eastern District of California against the Partran Company, address unknown, and against its chief officers, Jonathan Tang and William Clark, also addresses unknown, for catastrophic damages to the municipal water supplies caused by their particle transfer home station, leading to the ongoing disaster that has occurred. Any questions?
Can you say what the evidence is that the Partran device is responsible for the soil and the water losses?
The evidence is still being compiled, but while it's circumstantial at this point, I can say it's overwhelming. I mean, just overwhelming. We will win, no doubt.
I got something I want to say. I'm Al Carvalho, the state assemblyman representing Madera County. Now, concerning the strength of the evidence, you just have to put two and two together. Everywhere one of these boxes showed up, soil and water are disappearing. How much more obvious can anything be? These two so-called tech geniuses, Clark and Tang, clearly they never tested this damn thing. This idiot company Patterson has let a monster loose on the world.
Look at this.
The security photo from the post office.
Yeah, in Renton, Washington. But a box was also mailed that day from Olympia, Washington.
Looks like he was trying to mail these things from different post offices in Washington to cover his tracks.
But look at the timestamp on both of them.
That can't be. They're 3 minutes apart.
And Renton and Olympia are 55 miles apart.
I was driving through my apple orchards yesterday and almost drove into one of those sinkholes. So I called the Department of Agriculture. They came out and spotted 2 more from the air. I found this video from my security cameras a couple nights ago, figured they might be connected.
Can you freeze frame it? Right there. And blow it up? Robinson.
This is Director Lindholm. Where are you right now?
Well, I'm suspended, so I'm home, but Cooper and I are...
Suspending the suspension. Are you following what's happening?
The sinkholes, yes.
We're short of people, and I need someone to look into this, and you know the Madera farm. Get hold of Cooper, and both of you go up there. And don't embarrass me or this office by telling people about your conspiracy theories. Understand? Let the scientists figure this out.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coop. That was Lindholm. We're back on the case. Hey, come in here. You gotta see this.
We think the soil was being lost for several days, starting from about 60 feet down. Finally, the soil above it caved in.
How big is this ball?
Tell them the metal sphere is about the size of a softball.
About the size of a softball.
You said this thing is metal?
Yeah, silver metal of some kind.
Silver metal.
We got it. Dead center at the bottom, just where you said it was. Hold on. My God, it melted. It's some kind of blob of metal now.
Another one.
That's 33 of these spheres in a little over 3 hours. Works out to about 1 every 6 minutes or so. Now, when you figure that around 100 of these boxes have showed up worldwide, that's more than 3,000 of these spheres out there somewhere.
But here's another one. Obviously, these spheres are what's destroying the soil and water.
I agree.
Maybe it's no accident. Not some tech thing that backfired. Maybe it's deliberate. I mean, maybe instead of destroying soil and water, these spheres are stealing soil and water by reversing the particle transfer process and sending it all somewhere else.
Yeah, but who on earth would need that much soil and water? Actually, this makes sense. More sense than anything else. Let's do this. Let's write up everything we have. The spheres, Clark and Tang, everything. And we'll put your theory at the end of it, that these resources are being stolen. Now, obviously, we can't show this to Lindholm. He'll go ballistic. But I have a friend I went through bureau training with who's on permanent detail at the White House. He understands how Washington thinks.
Alan, tell Heidi to come in here. Who are the authors?
2 of our agents in the Fresno office who are investigating what's going on out there, sir. One of them sent it to me an hour ago. He says it's just their theory, but I thought you ought to see it.
This is Heidi Levinson, my science advisor. Why don't you let us read through this and talk about it for a while on our own? But thank you and the Bureau for bringing it to my attention. Pull up a chair. I want you to read something.
Somehow, you two have been assigned to Washington. How'd you pull that off?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's news to us.
If I find out you went over my head... Did you hear what I said? Washington, get going.
A police officer spotted him going into a commercial office building in downtown Tacoma this afternoon, but she didn't approach. The building manager said that the man rents 1,500 square feet on the second floor and he works there every day. The building opens at 8 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m. Tacoma police are standing by for your orders.
You're in touch with them?
Yes, sir.
Tell them to have a SWAT team ready for tomorrow morning, before the building opens. And good work, you two. Thank you. Tacoma, you folks ready?
Yes, sir. We're in place. What you're seeing is my body cam live feed as we go in. The man you're seeking goes by the name of Paul Romero. He came in about 20 minutes ago and has entered his rented space, which is on the second floor at the back of the building. We're going in the front.
Only send in your armored people when you go in there. This man is a complete mystery. We don't know what he's got in there in terms of weapons.
Yes, sir. Sergeant Johnson will be the point man. He'll go in first. I'll switch you to his helmet cam when he goes through the final door. My job is to give you the wide view as the team proceeds through the building to the target.
Whenever you're ready.
Team, let's go. Johnson, move up. Switching to Johnson's cam.
We're not going to hurt you with the Tacoma police. Please sit down. Please sit down.
John, come out here, quick!
We estimate we've already lost 7 to 10% of the world's oil and fresh water supplies, and the losses are accelerating. These fears are showing up in places that boxes were never sent, and we don't know how they got there. And they burrow so deep, ground-penetrating radar can't find them. You've heard about the Eiffel Tower.
And Central Park.
Add 2 more to the list. The Kremlin and the Vatican.
I believe they did that to send us a message. They're saying they can reach us anywhere.
This one is headed.
Sir, Clark has hacked the communications satellites. He's everywhere on TV.
The process that is underway now cannot be stopped. The factory that was found in Washington State, in the United States this morning, is one of a dozen that we have built in secret worldwide. And we're building more. However, you deserve an explanation for why we're doing this. As you've probably guessed, I am an avatar. I represent another culture from another planet. Ours is a culture far more advanced than your own, but we've exhausted our resources, especially our soil and freshwater supplies, which is essential to our food production. Nearly 50 years ago, we reached a crossroads. We would either begin to die off, or we would have to find a way to replenish our soil and water. We sent out probes to other planets, and eventually found yours. That was 19 years ago. It's taken all those years for our unmanned deployment ship to finally reach you. However, we believe it would be immoral for us to allow your culture to vanish completely. So we intend to leave you several regions of rich resources, including the lower Amazon River Basin and the upper region of the Nile River. But this will require that you reduce the size of your population significantly. We estimate that the resources you will have left will support about 100 million people. It's up to you to determine how to reach that size. But to allow our own culture, which again is far more advanced than your own, to fade away without any effort by us to save it, would also be immoral. But you have to put this in the context of your own history. It is filled with episodes of countries invading and conquering other countries to capture resources. What we are doing is no different. It may be hard for you to believe, but we wish you well in meeting this challenge. This is not personal. It is only about resources. We genuinely hope you will survive and flourish. Good luck.
Senator, do you want to venture an opinion?
Well, I believe these aliens scoured the internet to find these two Caltech students, Clark and Tang. As we've recently learned, the two were missing or dead, which, of course, no one knew at the time. So when they appeared in that first video claiming to be the inventors, the world bought the whole premise of their good intentions. Their story seemed legitimate. For these aliens, though, the real purpose of Clark and Tang, apparently, was to give them time to get their insidious spheres into place to start stealing our critical resources. It's genius, if you examine it. Evil genius.
Dad, are you safe?
For right now, I guess we are. We have food in the basement freezer, and your mother's collecting rainwater in pots and pans and storing it in a trash barrel. Our tap water is down to just a trickle, though. Look, your mother is asleep, but let me get her.
Don't wake Mom. Tell her I'll try and call back every day.
Can't you even say where you are?
Dad, I can't. Everything's about security at the moment. I'll tell you all about it someday. Hopefully.
I can't go home. The Orlando airport's been closed.
Well, where are you right now? Are the grandkids with you?
The kids are with me. I'm on a back road driving to my cousin's in Daytona Beach. She said we can stay there for the time being. What about you? Where are you?
They asked me not to talk about it on the phone.
You can't even tell me?
If I could, I would, honestly.
Well, be safe, and I guess I'll see you when I see you. Love you, Jimmy.
Love you too, dear. I'll call you tomorrow.
It takes 8 minutes for light from our sun to reach the Earth. The light from the nearest star to us takes nearly 4 years to reach us. The alien's planet has to be at least that far away. And no form of communication can move faster than the speed of light.
So that means that on their planet, they won't know anything about what's happening on Earth for at least 4 years, probably longer.
Exactly.
And the avatar for these aliens, Clark, the source for him knew we disrupted their operation in Tacoma on the day it happened. So the source for them must be somewhere on this planet.
Yes.
In a command center of some kind?
Yes, sir.
How do we find this command center? Mr. Secretary General, and my fellow leaders, we are faced with an unprecedented threat to our planet, one that no one could have foreseen or planned for or guarded against. Without a doubt, it will be an overwhelming challenge to beat back this threat, but it is a challenge we must undertake. We have no choice if we want to survive. Most importantly, we must not panic. We must conduct ourselves as civilized people, or else the situation will descend into chaos and catastrophe, and surely we won't survive. Admirably, many people are already doing their part to help. In areas with water shortages, some are collecting rainwater in pots, pans, in trash barrels, and anything that will hold water. Others are moving soil onto impermeable surfaces such as driveways and asphalt parking lots. And people who are able to are cultivating home gardens to grow a portion of their own food and food for their community. Indeed, international cooperation and the cooperation of individual citizens are our only hope in these times that are truly testing humanity.
Now Observatory Control, Kepler.
Hey, Al, this is Marty in Boulder.
You're still on the job too, huh?
What else are we going to do? But at the moment, we're mainly focused on predicting rain. We're experiencing a problem, though. 2 of our GEO satellites, 16 and 17, are out, and it's starting to affect our forecasting. We believe someone else's satellites are sitting just below them, interfering with ours. But there's nothing registered in those orbits. Can you check to see if anything's there?
Just a second, I'm checking. Marty, you're right. Nothing registered near either of yours.
Wow. The interference is acting like there's definitely something there. Is it possible to redirect one of your optical telescopes to look for them?
Well, we can use the 60-incher, but we're going to have to crank that around. It'll be a few minutes.
That's fine. Call me back as soon as possible, though. We've got some tropical storms forming in the Atlantic, and we need those satellites operational. Thanks.
The Weather Service found them. There's 6 of these unidentified satellites. They're the red dots on the map. They're not being claimed by anyone, and they look like nothing we've ever seen. NASA thinks we should shoot them down.
Get the main team downstairs to the bunker and set up a feed with NASA.
Sir, this is Creighton at NASA. Endeavour will be inside of the first satellite in less than a minute. We've outfitted all 3 shuttles with pulsed laser cannons to destroy these things. Also, our people on the International Space Station have gotten a long-range photo of one of the satellites. It's not great quality.
Do you have a size estimate?
This thing is possibly a foot in diameter, which is pretty astounding when you consider it sending a particle stream God knows how far away.
There are 6 of these?
Yes, sir, equally spaced over the globe. Sir, Endeavour is about to reach its first target. We're putting a nose camera on your screen. We're ready to fire.
Take the shot, anytime.
Discovery and Atlantis will be in range of their first targets in about 40 seconds.
The satellite we hit was directly over India. A geologist in the Deccan Plateau region says the soil loss in the sinkholes she's been monitoring suddenly stopped.
Mr. President, this is security upstairs. We have a video call to the White House that appears to be from William Clark. He says it's urgent. I'm redirecting it to your screens down there.
Stop what you're doing. We're not going to give you another warning.
Sir, Discovery is coming into range.
NASA, whenever you're ready, go ahead and fire.
Sir, another call from Clark.
Reject it. Reject them all.
Mr. President, this is Campbell at Homeland Security. A band of about 30 of these blue-shirted aliens hijacked a helicopter in an air show in Virginia, and it's headed this way. The Air Force has scrambled F-22s out of Andrews to intercept it. We've gotten reports of at least a dozen other helicopters, as well as trucks and small planes being stolen by huge gangs of these aliens in the surrounding area. Tanks and troops have been mobilized throughout the city.
President, we have another video call from Clark. I'm redirecting it down there.
I'll order my cyborgs to begin mass killings of innocent civilians unless you leave our remaining satellites alone. We can create and launch new satellites from the ground in a matter of hours, so what you are doing is pointless. Until now, we've harvested resources without harming anyone. But I promise you, that can change in an instant. I can vaporize entire cities if I choose to. And I will choose to do it if you try to bring down any more of our satellites. New York City will be the first to go. Do you understand?
Please, give us a minute to discuss this.
Do it quickly.
NASA doesn't think they can communicate with their spheres without the satellites. Monitors at numerous sinkholes say the soil loss has stopped since we destroyed the 3 satellites. One of the remaining satellites is larger and different than the others. NASA thinks it could be their central intelligence, the one that's controlling everything and where Clark's voice and image are coming from.
2 minutes before all 3 shuttles are ready to fire.
I repeat, I will obliterate New York City right now if you try to bring down any more of our satellites. Do you understand?
Please, don't. We'll cooperate.
Now that we've been on your planet longer and know more about you, more about your character as a people, we've rethought how we've approached this project. We realize that you have more advanced qualities than we initially thought, so we want to offer you a compromise. Perhaps there is a way we can both have the resources we need.
Given how advanced you are, technically I would have to believe you can quickly replace the satellites. And given that I don't want catastrophic loss of human life because of all this, I'm hoping...
Sir, you can't.
I'm hoping there is a way to compromise. Yes,
Mr. President, please.
we can leave your remaining satellites alone, but the resources you leave us have to be enough to support our people. Is that agreed?
We can agree to that, yes.
We estimate we can lose 20%
Sir, you can't.
of our soil and water and still have enough to be able to feed our current population. Will that 20% be enough for you to survive?
35 seconds.
We had intended to take 90%, but we could survive with less, and that's our goal, survival. Perhaps we could take 50%, and we could teach you methods to improve your soil efficiency significantly. That would give us both the resources we require.
But can you live up to that agreement? Will you live up to that agreement?
Yes, we will. Fundamentally, we are an honorable and moral people.
10 seconds.
Do you accept our proposal of a compromise? And will you promise not to take down any more of our satellites? Even though, as I said, we can put up new ones in just hours.
An honorable and moral people. The lying bastards. Fire!
No!